Welcome to Red and Blue. I'm Caitlin Huey-Burns in Washington. Thank you for joining us. President Biden is reassuring Americans that the U.S. banking system is secure following the collapse of two banks. Silicon Valley Bank failed last week, sparking concerns the situation could snowball into a nationwide banking crisis. Depositors were able to access their funds when the bank reopened today. Another bank failed over the weekend, this New York-based Signature Bank. The U.S. government is covering those customers' deposits as well.
Look, the bottom line is this. Americans can rest assured that our banking system is safe. Your deposits are safe. Let me also assure you, we will not stop at this. We'll do whatever is needed.
So for more on this, CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes joins us now. And Nancy, it was notable that the president made this statement at 8 a.m. before the markets opened. What was the Biden administration trying to accomplish with this speech today?
They had a couple of goals, Caitlin. First of all, they wanted to prevent any runs on any other banks by assuring Americans that their deposits are safe and that the federal government is standing by if anything happens. Because as we saw on Friday, even if a bank is more or less fiscally solvent, if all of its customers try to take their deposits out at once, you are going to have a very bad situation. That's something that he wanted to avoid by pointing out that the individuals and companies that had their deposits at Silicon Valley Bank will remain whole. They will not lose any of their deposits. Notably, what he did not say is that if any other banks fail, that individuals and companies at those banks will get the same courtesy. And we've asked the White House multiple times today what the situation would be if any other banks were to fail. What we've been told time and time again is that they are keeping an eye on the situation. They are completely focused on the couple of banks that had to be taken over by the FDIC on Friday and then again over the weekend, and that they'll cross that bridge when they come to it.
Yeah, that's such a big question, and whether this will incentivize, any sort of risky behavior as well. And Nancy, also, can you kind of take us behind the scenes of how the White House dealt with this? I mean, this is something that broke on Friday. We know that the Treasury Secretary was on our air yesterday, but take us behind the scenes about how involved Biden was here in making this decision.
Sure. So White House officials insist that he was speaking with top economists and economic officials all weekend, most notably his Treasury Secretary, of course, Janet Yellen, the chair of his National Economic Council, Lael Brainard, and his White House Chief of Staff, Jeff Zients. They also say that he was on the phone with the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, because obviously Silicon Valley Bank is located in California. We've learned through our own reporting at CBS News that the Treasury Department actually started to have some concerns about Silicon Valley Bank's situation way back in the fall. What we don't know yet is how long ago the White House and the president himself were alerted about this situation, if ever, or if they were only brought in last week when things started to get really serious. White House officials say that they worked throughout the weekend to try to deal with this situation because they were so concerned about the markets opening today. And you saw, despite the president's speech, that there were wild gyrations when it comes to all kinds of banks, even banks that were completely fiscally sound, like Charles Schwab, Bank of Hawaii. At one point, those trades had to be halted for a time. So there's still a lot of jittery investors out there.
Yeah, it's still a lot of questions for the White House and for Congress about what happens next. Nancy Cordes, thank you so much.